Mm. Hi guys, I hope you're all okay, and welcome to this segment of ours today. Today I'll be talking of something different. Probably no majority of you basically knows Molimo as a trainer for CPA, but today I'll just want us to know each other deeply and also understand what you normally tend to do other than training students for CPA. So talking of that, basically conversation today, I want us to have a chat about auditing, finance, and technology. Remember, like where we are today, or basically in this generation that we are living today, so many things are literally changing. So that's why I needed us to basically have a conversation of basically that is audit, finance, and technology to basically understand we as young accountants, we as upcoming accountants, basically, what do we really need to equip ourselves in for us to stay afloat in this ever changing environment? This is actually totally different from what we've been doing in terms of basically studying and all that. It is a learning concept that I want us to embrace because, as at the end of the day, you'll find that you, as young accountants, and also for those accountants who are in the field, who are in the market, these are some of the few items that they literally need to basically be able to understand. So, the whole conversation today is about finance, audit, and technology. So you'll find that basically technology is transforming the accountancy profession and has the potential to revolutionize audit as well. Maybe if at all you can talk about robotic process automation, we have data analytics, we have artificial intelligence, we have machine learning, name them. Basically, these are some few concepts that will literally change how we normally tend to do our activities. Like all transformational stories that we've been all hearing, technology basically in the audit story is a enabler, right? It's not like technology is going to maybe kind of technology is not going to sweep all auditors away, not really. But what technology does, or rather what technology will do, basically it will reduce the aspect of tasks that you are performing manually, literally as humans, it will literally reduce these tasks. And to do that, these are some of the key concepts that basically I want us basically to discuss in this conversation of ours today. The first task basically is number one, what is driving technological change in audit, right? What is driving technological change in audit? That is number one element that I want us basically to have a discussion on. The other element is basically which technologies are changing audit. Grasp that clearly. We're saying that what is driving technological change in audit? And basically, number two, we want to ask ourselves this question, which technologies are changing audit? After we have the questions, or rather the solutions to this question, the next bit will be, what does this mean for auditors as people? Now, you as an auditor, what will it mean to you as a person? Then, of course, we'll also be looking at the conclusion of our discussion. That is the basis of what I want us basically to discuss today. So to start with, at this point, we want to basically understand. Let us first of all understand key concept is that what is driving technological change in audit. That is very key for us to be able to do it, for us to be able to understand. So when you're talking about the drivers of technological change in audit, you'll find that we have several items, which ideally, probably for those who want to learn more, literally, you can always have this down. This is not. This is purely for learning purposes. And basically, all the conversation, or rather, majority of the conversation that I'll be having, I've based it on a report that was released by ACCA in relation to technological change in audit. That is where basically my focus or my research was based on. So number one aspect on this question that you're asking ourselves, basically, what is driving technological change in audit? A very key question that we should always tend to ask ourselves. You as an upcoming accountant, you basically as an auditor, what is driving technological change in audit? I want to start by sharing this element, which is number one, is that aspect of increase in volume of data. Increase in volume of data. That is number one item that basically we should be able to do what we should be able to understand. So when you're talking of increase basically in volume of data, you'll find that the volume of transaction nowadays, the volume of transaction nowadays, let me see if I can share something with us here so that just a moment here. And to share documents so that literally I'll find a way of sharing that. But basically, whenever you're talking of this, you're talking about increase in volume of data. You'll find that literally the volume of transactions and data in business has increased dramatically. Basically, if at all you can see the research since 2016, and is expected basically to keep increasing in the future. And you'll find that based on the research collected, it is estimated that basically over 90% of the world's data has been generated since 2016, and significant amounts of it are financial data. So look at it in that case, whereby we're looking at the increase in volume of data since 2016. Of course, as per the research that was done, you'll find that there's a huge accumulation of data that is being processed, or rather the data that is being generated. So you'll find that in this case was literally caused by the aspect of COVID-19. What happened the other day? We all understand what happened with the COVID, right? It literally changed everything. It literally changed the way guys are doing their operations. So you'll find that the rapid increase basically in the volume of data requires then auditors to be equipped with the latest available technological tools to analyze as much higher volume of data in their audits than previously, the way it has been before. So that is number one reason, aspect of when you're talking about this technological change in audit. The other key number two item, we normally tend to talk about basically changes in business models. A very key item that we should be able to understand. We're talking about changes in business models. So you'll find that at this point, when you're talking about changes in business models, I want us to take this scenario. You'll find that nowadays, business across almost every industry are in the front line experiencing at first hand the disruptive changes that are also affecting their auditors. Because, like, if you can check, previously, the auditors, even majority of the auditors now in the field, if at all you are to give this person a task whereby you're having huge data, you find that auditors will be having challenges in handling that. Majority of the auditors, if at all you can talk of that. So you'll find that this disruptive change needs to be distinguished from basically what innovation and technology per se. So you'll find that the key to disruption is that it creates innovation in business models. That's why we normally love technology, right? As much as people will complain that, you know what, technology will create an employment in a way, but if at all you are to look at it keenly, you'll also realize that at this point, innovation, the key innovation, or rather the key to disruption, it will literally creates innovation in business models, new ways of basically working in markets, and basically new sources of value. If you're to engage me as an auditor in your firm, which value am I going to create in your firm with these technological changes? These are literally what you're looking at. You'll find that previously we didn't have, say, like say, for example, if we can take a good example of ISPAC. ISPAC literally they have literally changed their models in a sense that today I can literally get my CPD certificate using online. I don't need to wait for them to share with me. Today, I can literally go and get my certificate of good conduct in eSpark portal. This technology. Initially, all these items were being done physically, were being done manually. So now imagine you're an auditor of this farm, which is eSpark. Literally, they were doing their work in a certain manner. Today, they have literally adopted technology in a sense that majority of the services are being provided online. So you as an auditor, you are used to basically things being done manually. With this technological change, how then are you able to adopt for you to do what? For you to fit in with those changes. You see, ideally at this point, in a way, it has literally disrupted the business model that was in existing. So right now we are talking of a new model in terms of technological change. So these are some of the things that basically we need to always tend to look at for us to say that, you know what, we are actually prepared in a sense that this is what technology is doing. A good example also, initially we didn't have, say, like Uber Eats. Today, we're having Uber Eats. You'll find that today, what Glovo will do, or rather maybe maybe let me use also Glovo. What Glovo will do, Glovo will have a contract with KFC. Glovo will have a contract, say, with these other eateries around, so that wherever I am, I can just do what I can order, and basically at this point, I can receive whatever I've ordered at the comfort of my home. What it has been done here, you'll find that there is this other party whereby Glovo is literally connecting KFC and their consumers. Initially, we didn't have this, but right now there's an element that has been brought about by technology. So you as an auditor, in such an event, this is just an example of technological changes that we are looking at. In such case, how will you be able to work it out? You see, so we're talking about changes in business models. That is key element number two. Then after, in addition to that, you'll find that therefore auditors literally, they must be able to adopt to the changes in business models of their clients. For us to provide value to our clients in a way, we just have to change with these business models. That is very key item that we are talking about. Now, talk about number three. Remember, we are looking at the whole idea here. We are talking about what is driving technological change in audit. So let us talk about item number three. Item number three, at this point, there's that aspect of, if I can term it, is talk about shift towards automation. There's that shift towards what? Towards automation. Number three key point, you're talking about shifts towards automation. So how is this happening? You'll find that when you're talking about shifts, of course, towards automation, you'll find that the most immediate impact of technology on the professional is in the automation. That is the most, if you're talking of the process of how we accountants normally tend to basically do our work, you literally realize and agree with me that the most immediate impact of technology on the profession is in the automation or even elimination of manual and routine tasks. Today, there are systems that I don't need to have an accounting system in the firm. All I need is basically to have my documents scanned and I can literally get my reports. I don't need to have a person there as an accountant to do the aspect of data entry. No, you'll find that this basically has been sorted out by technology. You'll find that this movement is accelerated because it has multiple drivers. In this case, whenever we're talking about the aspect of the shift, you'll find that the shift to cloud-based, and that is the most essence and most important item that we as professionals, we should be able to understand, right? There's that aspect. And nowadays, you'll find that we don't need to have a lot of maybe hard disks in our area, or rather, we don't need to have a lot of files the way we used to have. You'll find that the shift to cloud based accounting systems and the attendant standardization of process has made data more easily and more widely available, easier to move between systems, basically manipulating our data and doing a lot of things. Say, for example, maybe when data cannot move seamlessly between systems, the use of robotic process automation. I don't know if you guys you've heard of RPA. RPA, whenever we're talking about basically RPA in our accounting system, or rather in auditing. So as much as that process, it has not yet been adopted so much in Africa, but there's this aspect which we normally refer to as robotic process automation. Robotic process automation can remove the need for manual intervention to cover what? The last mile. Like say, maybe we are on the deadline towards our auditing process, towards maybe June, or towards maybe end of May, where we normally tend to have a lot of pressure. We don't need to have a lot of human beings there. You'll find that with the RPA, will literally assist us to sort all these items. So that is basically one item that is literally changing a lot of things, or how things are doing, or rather how accountants are doing their work. You'll find that also, despite this, there seems to be basically a little appetite for human play. Like maybe I just want to stick on my desk, right? Me as an auditor, I just want to stick on my desk. I just don't want to move out of the norm that we've been doing. But we have to basically change. So that is basically number three, why there's that changes in technological, or rather technological changes in auditing. The other key item you're talking about, the demand for a proactive and forward-looking approach in audit. That is also key number three that you must be having. You're talking about the demand for a proactive and forward-looking approach in audit. So the use of advanced technologies such as AI, talk about machine learning, talk about blockchain, all these items has literally changed the way we normally tend to look at some things. Say, for example, today we are talking about machine learning. What machine learning will do, I'm going to create, or rather, I'm going to take probably the work that we've been doing in terms of what we've been watching all through, the data, a massive data, or maybe I just need to feed my system with what has been happening. And what will machine learning do next? You'll find that it will literally be giving me almost the same result as what any other human could give me. That is aspects of machine learning. And if at all you can add on that aspect of now, we are talking of AI nowadays, right? Artificial intelligence, which is literally changing a lot of things, or how things are, or how we normally tend to do our work. So you'll find that all of these items, this transformation basically in audit profession, changing audit from reactive and backward-looking exercise to a proactive, constant source of basically looking at aspect of much insights in what you're doing. So the whole idea is that there's that demand actually for proactive and forward-looking approach in audit nowadays compared to how this was being done before. So these are some of the items that we have, so many items that we can share from now till tomorrow, why there is basically need for change or technological changes in auditing. So in this case, that should take us to element number two, because remember, we've started by asking ourselves the first question, of course, our first question was literally what we mentioned: what is driving technological change in audit? And that is what we'll be discussing. Now, come to our second question: which technologies are changing audit? That is our second question. Which technologies are changing audit? What will we need to understand when you're talking about these technologies? You'll find that we have several technologies which are literally changing the way we are doing our tasks. And at this point, we can talk of the first technology. When you're saying which technologies, basically, which technologies are changing what? Which technologies are changing audit? So number one technology that we must all be very familiar with, and actually you'll find that is going to create havoc in all our tasks, know that is going to basically create unemployment, not really, but per se, we really need to do what we really need to adopt this. So number one, technology, you'll find that we are talking of artificial intelligence, which we're referring to it as AI. Artificial intelligence, literally, you'll find that is changing a lot of tasks, maybe asking this question or providing the solution to which technologies are changing audit. Number one technology that is changing auditing, we are talking of AI. I'll explain something a little in relation to basically artificial intelligence. You'll find that when you're talking of AI is often described as an evolving technology. That is what you normally describe AI as. That is equipping computer systems with something akin to human intelligence. This is what you're referring to as artificial intelligence, right? You'll find that, but what is more frightening, right? What is more frightening on this, you'll find that it is better seen as an umbrella term for what group of technologies whereby we are literally bringing the brain of so many human beings in performing as one human being. You can imagine that power. Imagine collect, say, like 5 or 4 individuals and putting them in one body to perform a particular task. That's how frightening artificial intelligence is. So you'll find that whenever we are talking of basically AI in this case, we are looking at various group of technologies which have basically been brought together as an umbrella for it to perform particular tasks. You can imagine how basically efficient that results will be the one that has been generated by AI. As much as you normally tend to have some of its flaws, but you'll find that AI will literally be a game changer in all that you're doing. Nowadays, we are talking about basically, if I can quote Elon Musk, right? Elon Musk is coming up with, or rather, if at which is there, whereby self-driven cars, which basically I can just enter into my car. I say the coordinates where I want to go, then the car will literally drive me there without any driver, right? You see basically how technology is working, right? So you'll find that in this context, or rather basically in the conversation of artificial intelligence, you'll find that there are a lot of things that are going to basically change. More so whenever you're talking about what? The workforce. The workforce is literally going to be distracted a lot with artificial intelligence. It could be argued that probably because of a lack of understanding or concepts such as intuition, which AI maybe doesn't have emotional intelligence, but you'll find that as at the end of the day, what artificial intelligence will do will literally change how people perform their task automatically. So you'll find that these are some of the items that we should be able to have in mind. If we could be having time, I could have gone through artificial intelligence in details and how you'll find that its impact in what we are doing. Other technology that we must also be very keen with nowadays, and I've talked about it just on our previous conversation, this is all about robotic process automation. RBA, or rather RPA. I don't know if you guys have heard of RPA. RPA simply stands for basically robotic process automation. This is also another technology that is literally changing the way guys or the way auditors will always tend to do their work. So you'll find that this one at times is often mistakenly basically thought of as a form of AI. It is more almost relating with artificial intelligence, but you'll find that you'll be having a difference in relation to the same. So in this case, basically, I'm going to quote as highlighted basically in ACCA joint report. You'll find that, of course, with the KPMG, embracing robotic automation during the evolution of finance, you'll find that RPA, this is now the definition according to basically what was discussed in that joint report. So RPA is simply a software that can be easily programmed or instructed by end users to perform high volume, repeatable, rules-based tasks. That is what RPA does. So you can just imagine the power that RPA will literally bring in our industry, right? So talking of that, you'll find that In relation to audit, then how will RPA basically be of use? So RPA is commonly used when the output is, or maybe when the output of one financial process needs to be the input, right, into another. For those probably who understand, when we normally tend to talk about process costing, right? The output of a certain process will basically be an input of another process. That's why you're talking of, we normally tend to talk of process account. So RPA works in this sense now when you're talking of it in relation to technology. RPA basically will find that it works in a sense that it can literally provide with us, say like whenever I'm doing, say like watching, or rather whenever we are doing basically aspect of conducting maybe various samples that we've collected for audit purposes. What RPA will do, you don't need to have even samples. It can literally take the whole population and give us these results almost immediately as we can. So you'll find that in this case, uh, there is also basically a question of whether RPA simply basically can solve the human work. In that question, basically, I'm going to answer that question in the next conversation to describe to you basically how this robotic process automation works clearly. The other technology that is literally changing the way audit is being done is what we're referring to as now data analytics. The beauty part with that is that also Casneb realized this, and that's why you'll find that this data analytics in our syllabus nowadays. Whenever we're talking of basically those students who are doing CPA, there's that aspect of data analytics. So analytical tools, basically, you'll find that, as we mentioned, after COVID-19, a lot of tasks were automated, and that is to say, we'll be dealing with a lot of huge data, right? And dealing with this huge data, ideally, it won't be as business as usual, because in this case, if at all we were just to use basically the human input on that, there'd be a lot of mistakes. So that's why nowadays we normally tend to talk of data analytics. And this literally, as finance guys, you can take this course with a lot of seriousness, because nowadays, even if you can see the opportunities that are there, at least for finance, they're also requiring you to be what? To be a data analytics proficient. This will literally help you in analyzing our data, because it is not as business as usual, whereby we used to have a lot of files in our drops. No, nowadays everything is basically automated. So you must be having specific Excel skills for you to filter in all this set of data and for you to provide the result that is required. So when you're talking about basically data analytics, you'll find that we normally tend to use various tools that are in existence simply to make our work much easier, and to get what? To get the results that we need to get, or rather that we need to obtain. So there's a report, of course, that of course, for those who are interested, I'm going to share with you this report, which literally it will open our mind wide, so that you get the importance of us understanding the whole concept of data analytics. The other technology that is literally changing auditing, we have machine learning. Majority of us, we've heard of ML, right? Majority of us, we've heard of machine learning. So machine learning is also a quite intense topic, which basically we can discuss it later on, plus the concept of natural languages and deep learning. So today's conversation, I want us to be having this session whereby, other than just us understanding, or rather just looking at things the way it has been designed for our studies, I want us to be having this series whereby I'll try my best to open you guys up in whatever that is happening in the world of finance, and more so how technology is literally impacting the way we normally tend to do operations. Probably you can say that yes, some of these items has not been adopted fully in Africa, but trust you me, these changes are coming. So the more proficient you are, the better for you. Because literally, you'll find that in some few years from now, the normal accountants in course, like I'm having my CPA, I'm having my BCom, literally, those will just be added advantage. What will be required is how efficient will you be in terms of these analytics tools? And that is where we are heading. That is where technology is taking us. So literally, we should be prepared for this. So that was a segment for today. Tomorrow, I'll be having another session of the same. We'll be discussing about deep learning, how deep learning is affecting basically auditing. Talk about natural language process, NLP. How is NLP affecting the way we do our work? And basically look at other tools that affects our work as auditors. So also tomorrow we'll be answering the question, what does this mean for auditors as people? That was our conversation for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining us and basically be part of this conversation. Let us meet tomorrow and discuss more of how technology, or rather the aspect of finance, audit, and technology, and how should we be ready for these changes. Thank you so much, guys, for attending. See you tomorrow and have a good night. See you next time.